My jealous sister-in-law steals our son's name, and when I reveal the meaning of that name to her, she regrets it and even demands that we pay to change our son's name. My wife and I had almost given up on the idea of having a child, and then it happened suddenly, and we were super excited. So, after finding out we were expecting a boy, we started looking for names. I suggested my Scottish grandfather's name, and my wife loved it. So, it was the name we chose. However, we made the mistake of posting about it on social media. And well, no surprise in that chaos. My sister-in-law was also pregnant and was much further along than my wife, and was also expecting a boy. She decided to claim my grandfather's name for her son, not just the first name, but also the middle name. We called her angrily about what she was doing, and she arrogantly told us there was nothing we could do about it, and somehow she was right. Legally, there was nothing we could do about it, as stealing baby names is not a crime yet. We realized it was exactly the drama my sister-in-law wanted, and she thought that by taking a name for herself, we couldn't use it. I laughed and told her that although what she did was dishonest and sneaky, we would keep our chosen name, and she would have to deal with it. Whether she decided to copy us or not, well, my sister-in-law asked the baby's father to call me, and he said I was an irrational fool for still wanting to use the name after my sister-in-law claimed it. I said she hadn't claimed anything, and since we couldn't own the name, neither could he. Before he hung up, he threatened me, saying I would regret it if we didn't change our baby's name. Then he hung up before I could respond. Months later, my sister-in-law has a healthy baby and names him after my grandfather. We didn't go to her house for the naming ceremony, both because of the pandemic and because we simply didn't want to be there. My sister-in-law called us to receive congratulations, but we just said we didn't care. And if she still insisted that we change our baby's name, she could go to hell. The next day, I was surprised when my sister-in-law's husband came knocking on my door. And when I reveal the meaning of this name to her, she regrets it and even demands that we pay to change her son's name. My sister-in-law was furious when we said we wouldn't change the name. She demanded to speak with my wife on the phone, but we were on speakerphone, and my wife took over the conversation, saying she completely agreed with me, we would not change the name. My sister-in-law hung up on us, but started sending endless emails with lists of names. She even suggested similar names. I replied that the name was from my grandmother and meant cherry blossom, so we wouldn't change it. She was left without arguments, and we didn't hear from her until after our son was born. 2 months later, we were blessed with our son. He was born perfectly healthy, and we named him exactly as we had planned. And unsurprisingly, my sister-in-law called us a few days after the birth to scream in our ears that we had copied her son's name. I emphasized that she was the real copycat, as she had no family connection to the name. Anyone who looked at our family trees could see that. Then my wife spoke up and said she no longer considered my sister-in-law her sister, and wouldn't have anything to do with her nephew either. And my sister-in-law's partner, true to his threats, came to me to make me regret it. I'm not sure what his plan was, but I outmatched him in almost every way. I am 1.85 meters tall and well-built due to regular exercise and 3 weekly gym sessions. He, on the other hand, was very thin and about 1.73 meters tall, all with a teenage mustache. So, when my sister-in-law's partner showed up at my door, he did not find the confrontation he expected. Instead, he was met with calm and assertiveness. I clearly explained that I would not tolerate threats or aggressive behavior in my home. He was visibly uncomfortable and ended up leaving without causing any real problems. After this incident, we decided to keep our distance from my sister-in-law and her partner. We no longer wanted to be involved in their manipulations and dramas. We focused on our family and on raising our son in the best way possible. Months passed, and my sister-in-law eventually gave up on her attempts to bother us. She realized we wouldn't give in to her irrational demands. Finally, we were able to enjoy the joy of being parents without her toxic interference in our lives. As our son grew, he brought even more love and happiness to our family. His name, a tribute to my grandmother, became a source of pride and connection to our family roots. Looking back, we realized that facing such challenges only made us stronger as a family. We learned the importance of maintaining our boundaries and protecting our peace and happiness. And in the end, we prevailed over adversity, building a home filled with love and harmony.